And we should have a trifecta of live. We should be live on 3 devices right now. How's it going?
Hello.
Oh, snap. You know what? We're not going to be live on yours yet. I'm going to cancel that for a second. While y'all watch my mid-range struggle, give me a second so I can actually set up this Wi-Fi so that we can fully broadcast the whimsical mannerisms of A.P.Wolfe, who's here on behalf of Ennerida Wolfe. Is there a relation?
Yes.
Okay. By all means, take the floor, take the ground. Let them know about the reason you're here.
Well, I am here to plug a book that my sister Ennerida wrote. It's a horror novel. She wants to take horror movies to the next level because, well, let's be honest, they're not scary anymore.
Yeah, I hear that.
They're full of everything that we've seen a million times, and it was scary the first time, and now 20 years later, it's just boring.
It's a remake. They love the remakes.
Yes, they
do.
do.
There we go. All right, we are live on this phone now, and this phone, and that computer. I don't know why I'm breathing so heavy. I only took 4 steps. But yes, we're here to talk about this book.
It's called Into the Darkness.
Into the Darkness, for those of you who don't know.
And it is a terrifying, hair-raising, make-your-skin crawl horror story.
Okay, all right. Without giving away too much of the story, where does it originate?
Well, that's actually an interesting story.
Okay.
Ennerida suffers from several sleep conditions, night terrors, insomnia, sleepwalking, and a lot of her stories are taken from some of the very vivid, very brutal nightmares that she's had.
All right, okay. Oh, man, that sounds in-depth. Now, this looks like a thick book. But let me check how many pages this is, because details are important, especially when it comes to graphic novels. And there's pictures in here, too. So don't sleep on that.
It's about 350 pages.
About the author. Okay. I'm not skipping to the good part yet. I'm just... Okay, what's this at the end of... Oh, this is like the thank yous.
Thank yous, dedications, a little bit about the author.
Okay, all right.
And about her story.
All right. I like to read. I used to love reading text, knowledge-filled books. So I started with those simple books, and then started going and elevating up to novels, and then I got to the point where I was reading textbooks. So this is kind of like.
Oh, you'll love this one. Some of the pictures that are in the book.
Yeah.
They've actually got a secret code in them that if you can crack it, you get a nice little message from the author.
Oh, okay, all right.
And you just gotta figure out what her code is.
Okay, all right. That's definitely in depth. I haven't seen a lot of books like that. One of my, and I don't know if she's looking to write another one, but one of those.
Oh yeah, she's got another one on the way, on the works.
One of the books that I always found interesting was the ones where you get to choose your destiny. If you get to, say you're reading the first 10, 15 pages, and then they say, if you want this to happen, go to page 17. If you want that to happen,
I remember those
go
books.
to page 40.
I loved those books as a kid.
Yeah, those books were awesome. I like to see something like that if possible, but I know they're so difficult to write because they're hard to read, so,
Mm-hmm. You got to think of every possible outcome and what people might want to do. What Ennerida does with this book, she gives you a little bit of that, but she also very much keeps you on the edge of your seat right from the first line, first sentence. And it's real page turner, very hard to put down. Few people who have read it have told me that they've had some nightmares because of it, which Ennerida was thrilled about. She's, mission accomplished.
Okay.
So hopefully it does really well. I think it's a really good book, and
The cover
I'm actually the artist for some of the drawings that you see in the book, so...
The cover is so abstract. Like, I'm trying to figure... Like, I could see the eyes. I could see, like, what looks like a sword. And I could see a whole bunch of stuff happening, but...
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Because I don't want to identify it as something because I don't want to be wrong. But I'm looking at it, it's just making, like, this part of my brain do some funky things right now, just, like, trying to figure out what it is. And then those eyes are piercing. They're not sponsoring me yet, but I'd like to take a minute to shout out Canada Dry Peach Ginger Ale, because this shit is the bomb. Canada Dry Peach Ginger Ale. Hook a brother up with some. I had to do it on both cameras.
That's okay. I drink a lot of ginger ale myself, and I did not know they made peach flavor.
And pineapple.
What?
Yes.
For real?
I went to Kay's Corner. Shout out to Kay's Corner on Thorold in Welland. I went to Kay's Corner and was like, okay, let me try something new, because I've been drinking, like, the regular ginger ale for a while. I'm like, okay, let me just treat myself. So I saw this yellow bottle, and I'm like, okay. Then I saw the Canada Dry logo. I'm like, no way. And then I picked it up. I'm like, and then I saw the peach right beside it. I'm like, I don't usually buy bottles of pop at convenience stores because it's much cheaper at the grocery store. But I saw it. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that. And
got to give it a try.
It was definitely worth the purchase. It tastes good. So for those of you who live in the Welland area, we got exclusive. We got the peach Canada Dry, and we got the pineapple Canada Dry. I think there's a couple other flavors too.
I know they have a cranberry flavor, and that one's really good.
Cranberry flavor is like my Christmas treat.
Yeah.
Every time it comes out, I have to get like a case or a bottle and I sip. But then I started making my own, buying just the ginger ale and the cranberry juice, and then mixing it together. Just like, wait a minute, it's cheaper this way.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Oh man, part of the reason I have the setup that I do is like I'm gonna go to the bar and hope someone plays something that I want to hear while paying an overinflated price. Not to say that the industry isn't. I don't know if you know me, but I'm on a live right now, so I can't answer that question. Hopefully, you'll see this live and then realize that I am live. Someone just asked me if they know me. Don't you think you'd know if you knew me? I'm not like the least extravagant person. You know what I mean? Like, if you have to ask if you know me, you don't know me.
No, you don't.
Straight up, because you know if you know me. I'm one of those kinds of dudes. Okay, so how long did it take Ennerida to write this?
She worked on this for 5 years.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
The drawings for myself, they were really a lot entailed into those, a lot of work into those. But yeah, the writing process actually took her just under 5 years. Wow. Like almost within like a week of hitting the 5-year mark.
Okay, wow, that's dedication right there.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work. You got to make sure your stories line up and you don't like overlap anything, and you always got to make sure you don't repeat yourself, and there's just always something.
Okay. Sorry, I keep looking. Come on. Decline. Sorry, I'm live right now, buddy. 40 weeks I've been live, buddy. For 40 weeks I've been live, buddy. Like,
we're not taking calls. This ain't a request line.
We're not taking calls right now. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. I'm on a live right now, so I can't answer your call, but feel free to send me a message in about an hour. Yeah, I hate to be that guy. But it's like,
it's okay, it happens.
Can I take a second? I know this show is gonna be about her and her book with her sister. But I gotta take a minute to gripe so I don't like
go for it.
I have for 40 weeks, just on this show alone, 40 weeks been putting up this show on the timeline. You'd think if you're on my friends list,
you would know that Wednesdays at 6 p.m. don't call.
You'd think. Now, I don't expect everybody to know my day-to-day. If it was a one-off, I'd understand. But it's been 40 weeks. It's been... And then to not know the person, like, no, I'm not even trying to air anybody out right now. So let's just talk about the book. How much can you tell? What can you tell us about the book without giving away the juicy details?
Well, what would you like to know?
Let's talk about settings. Where's the setting of the book?
It's actually set here in modern day Welland.
Boom. Put Welland on the map.
How do you like that? We're gonna put Welland on the map and make us a cool city to visit.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out here. It's just hidden in the brush.
There's a lot of great places to visit, a lot of great things to see. Like,
yeah, there's good people out here too, not just us two. You know what I mean? The wife and you included. But no, honestly there are some good people out here. So like, shout outs to you for putting the city on in the book. Sorry, I heard footsteps. I was just looking to see if someone was coming down the stairs. I had this one episode where I kind of double booked, and then I triple booked, and then I quadruple booked.
so you had a lot of people doing.
I'm sitting here. I have one guest in the chair, then another guest comes in, and the third guest walks in and is like, where am I supposed to sit? I'm like, you got to go in there. Plus, he was already in there. So, yeah, that day.
Full house.
Oh, my gosh. That day I was in the studio from 10 to 11 until 11:30 p.m.
That's late.
That's
That's a long time to do live.
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't even do the live that whole time. I kind of wanted to, but I could only... The problem is, I want to do the live long enough that I could keep the footage, and if I go over 2 hours, it just somehow disappears into the... I don't know.
That's weird.
It's so weird. So, Oh, watching with you. Yeah, we got to watch.
Hi.
How y'all doing?
Thank you for tuning in.
All right. Photograph. So, like, do you have a picture of, like... So, how did you approach the drawing of this?
I approached it, I looked at it in terms of, I love Stephen King books.
Okay.
But he sometimes goes on too long in his descriptions. I love his descriptiveness because he makes you see exactly what he wants you to see.
Okay.
And my approach with it was, why don't I just show you what I want you to see?
Okay.
Instead of going into extreme descriptive detail, how about I just give you a picture of what I want you to look at and what I want you to see, and then there's no gray area in there. There's no misinterpretation of what's going on. It's just, bam, right in your face.
All right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
It also cuts down on the writing process, too, if you can, instead of 20 pages describing something, one page just show you. That's awesome for the printers.
So how many... you said it's 350, but how many pages of pictures is in there?
I think there's 10.
That's 10,000 words, ladies and gentlemen, because a picture's worth 1,000. So she saved y'all 10,000 words of reading.
You're welcome.
You know what I mean? And you know what? I know a couple of people who are actually into like the darkness of the books, the dark. I don't want to say horrorcore, like the horror books, the horror like movies and things like that. Like I know there's certain people upstairs, who like horror movies and will read like horrendous books and stuff like that. And I just like I have a very active imagination, so like
me too.
As soon as I start getting into it, I become a part of it, and then it just takes me over from there. So it's interesting to see. Now, where can people get a copy of the book?
You can actually get a copy of this on Lulu.com. It is available for sale right now.
Lulu.com.
Just Google Into the Darkness by Ennerida Wolfe. That's ENNE.
RIDA.
Yeah.
Wolf with an E. Yeah. I finished your sentence.
Thank you.
No problem.
Had a little bit of a brain freeze there for a minute.
Yeah, no, it's especially when you're spelling something like I don't know, like...
It's a different name.
Yeah, definitely.
Very different.
Ennerida. Yes. All right, well, we have some topic cards here. We usually like to pick from them to see what other things there are out there to discuss. Pick from the front and read the topic, and let's see what your opinion is on it.
Beauty pageants are outdated and should be banned.
Put it back. Okay. What's your opinion on that?
You know what? I gotta say, I kind of agree.
Okay.
I'm all for the beauty pageant and everything, but I feel they kind of encourage women to not think for themselves and to see that if you're not beauty pageant beautiful, then you're not really worth anything. And I don't agree with that. I think every person walking this planet is worth everything. You just gotta get to what they're really about. I don't think beauty pageants give our women a chance to really show the world what they're about. They just want them to be beautiful and smile for the cameras.
Well, in recent history, and like I'm just saying what's happened in the last year or so, it's the first time that I've seen so many colored women win a pageant. So
yeah, that's actually been awesome.
Now I'm just at that point where it's like, okay, are you giving them the win based on their credentials and their merit, or are you trying to like take the attention away from something more complicated or something more corrupt? You know what I mean? So like when it comes to beauty pageants, I'm neither here nor there. I don't watch them. I don't really care for them because they like show me like some American Ninja Warrior shit. Show me some like something where you're actually engaged mentally and physically, and then have a contest around that. Don't just, I'm gonna wave at you. I'm barely wearing anything. And yes, they're talented in their own right, but like they're not showing the breadth of their talents. So
no, they don't.
So that's all I gotta say about that. Let's see. Oh, that's one. Okay. This one says street art is pointless vandalism. I disagree.
I think it depends on what they've actually painted. Like, there's graffiti that's just like them tagging stuff and just like somebody's name or something. But then you see these murals around Welland specifically that are like up on the side of buildings, and they're beautiful murals. And
yeah, I've seen some in alleyways in St. Catharines too. Like just the intricate designs that they have on them. I've even petitioned to have like concrete slabs put up outside of parks so that graffiti artists can actually go by and paint on them and just design whatever they want to design and not have to conflict with society because they're painting up on trucks and walls and whatever. But it's a city hall out here. I mean, I've been banned from City Hall personally. So City Hall out here can like really just digest the dinosaur dong where it comes to like their protocol. Took me 5 years to get a sidewalk paved. 5 years.
That's crazy.
The stretch of sidewalk wasn't even 500 meters. 5 years to get that shit paved. But I got it paved. So, you know what I mean? If you work the government works. I stand by it. Oh, wait, it's death, isn't it? It's death looking down. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, I'm getting it. I'm trying to figure out what it's so fucking abstract. Like, it's plain as day.
That was actually really fun. That cover was really, really fun to shoot. We went to a place just outside of Welland here called Harold S. Bradshaw Memorial Park. We went after dusk.
Okay.
And didn't know it at the time. Turned out the place was haunted.
Ah.
And we got some really, really cool stuff. Enerida's photographer. Here's a plug for you, girl. Photography with Jennifer Rusk. She is an awesome photographer.
Okay.
She helped bringEnnerida's vision for the cover to life. And yeah, apart from the picture that we got from the cover, we actually got a lot of really, really cool spirit activity evidence in our pictures.
Orbs and stuff.
Orbs. There was one picture where it's completely blacked out by a winged shadow figure. You can just see the bottom corner and the top corner, and it's just this big black shadow across it, and you can see his wings and everything. It was super creepy. There's a lot of pictures where in the background you see some kind of dude in like the foliage, because it's a conservation park that we shot it at, and in the background, the foliage in some of the pictures that we took, it looks like there's like this hooded dude watching us.
Okay.
It was super creepy. We had like a
spectacular.
whole creepy vibe while we were there. It was just nuts.
Reconnect. Because we have the signal. I'm pointing at that phone. This phone's working. That phone, not so much.
It's my phone. Go figure.
Come on now. You can do it. All right, well, while we wait for that to happen, I'd like to take a moment to thank y'all for tuning in. This is Expose the North, as we bring to you candid conversations with A.P.Wolfe, sister of Ennerida Wolfe, who would like to maintain some privacy in her life. So how do you deal with that, knowing like you got to be the face of the book, of the marketing, of the publishing, and all of that, the promotion?
Just with a grain of salt, I guess. You just gotta kind of resign yourself to putting yourself out there. I believe in this story. I believe it's gonna sell like hotcakes. It's just a matter of getting it out there, and if I gotta be the face that plugs it and gets it out there and gets it to take off and soar, then awesome for me. That's great exposure for me, for my art, and that's great exposure for my sister and her writing.
Excellent. Gotta make sure my computer's not overheating, because it likes to be a bag of douche sometimes. It's not overheating, so we good. We still hear our candid conversations live with A.P.Wolfe. What up, y'all who's joining in? Start a watch party, share the link. It is what it is. It is what it will be. When's the next time you can see me? I am going to be performing at Lux Nightclub on March 26th with Zach Burry. That's Lux Nightclub. As they present The Underground returning on March 26th. It should be a fun show. Come check it out. $10 admission, $4 shots. It's going to be fun. Then we got January. No, we've already finished January. We're on March 28th. I'm going to be at Shorty's Bar, St. Catharines, on the Camacho versus Everybody tour. And then on the Robbie G tour in May, we're going to be playing live in Hamilton at the Honest Lawyer Fennel. So, yeah, come check it out. I got tickets, you know what I mean? Don't be scared. Buy a ticket, come check it out, or buy a ticket just to support. Whatever you got to do, you know what I mean? Just make sure you buy a ticket. True? All right, cool. Enough of my shameless plug. So yeah, have you thought about converting that into a movie or anything like that?
Yes, that's actually our ultimate goal. We want to take horror movies to the next level.
Okay.
We want to make them scary again.
All right.
Because who doesn't love a good scary movie?
Me,
especially one that keeps you on the edge of your seat.
I can't stand that shit. I have an overactive imagination. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I watch a horror movie with Jenny, and I'm walking through the house tiptoe like I'm Metal Gear Solid and shit, just like waiting for something to jump around the corner and shit. Just, oh, okay, I see you, Shadow. Bam! No, it's just a shadow. Okay, we good. Walking up the stairs.
That's the aim I actually have, that me and my sister have with this book, is to make you look at those shadows and be like, hey, did I just see something moving in that shadow, or is it my imagination?
Is it just my imagination? I'm into like the 60s, 70s funk soul. We're gonna
good music.
Yeah, we're going to be practicing a song I gotta drum and play the trumpet. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but we'll figure it out. It's gonna be fun though. I like the band that we're working with right now. Basic Essentials, Base Mentals. We're working on our name. I like Base Mentals, but I think that's already taken. So Basic Essentials or Base Essentials. So, you know, the essentials to the base. So boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's what sugar does to you. That's what sugar does to you. Oh my goodness. So yeah, what is your favorite part of this book? Like, what can readers look for?
They can look for a good, compelling story. It kind of forces you to look at the world around you, and when you see injustice or something that people tend to turn a blind eye to, it kind of begs the question to you, are you going to stand up and fight for the little guy, or are you just going to sit there and pretend you don't see nothing?
That's gripping. That's gripping. That's my daily battle. I mean, like at 6, I have an analogy where, and referring back to government, and I gotta say, like, if you want them to do something, you have to stay on them. You have to send the submissions. You have to phone call them. You have to follow up on your phone calls. You have to follow up on your emails. It's minimum 4 to 6 weeks, up to 14 years to get anything changed. I'm telling you this. So I'm there, and I forget what I was talking about. So I'm not going to talk about it.
Sometimes you have to go to the extreme to make people see what's really out there.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And sometimes you have to go to the extreme to make people stand up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let you do this anymore. What you're doing is wrong. And just because the rest of the world won't stand up and tell you that what you're doing is wrong doesn't mean that's what I'm going to do. And that's what this book challenges people to do.
That's what I was going to say. Like, at 6'3", there's not much I can't reach. And I used an analogy when I was talking to the government. It's like you knowing that I need something that's on the top shelf at 4'11", and you being 6'5", walking up to the shelf, seeing that I need the thing, and walking past me without giving it to me while you're watching me reach for it. And since then, I've had on at least 4 separate occasions, shorter, and it's been a woman every time, about 4 foot something, 5 foot something, just around 5 foot, reaching for something on the top shelf or reaching for something behind the shelf. And I always see that scenario and I'm just like, is there anything that I can help you with? She's like, oh, one time I was in Food Basics in St. Catharines, and I turned a corner and she's like, you're tall. I'm like, well, yes, thank you for noticing. She's like, a little slip of a woman. She must have been like 4'11" or something. She's like, can you get that box for me? And I'm like, why, certainly. I reached up, got the box. I was like, is there anything else I can do for you? No, I'm fine. I said, okay, cool. Have a good day. I was glad to use that at my height to help someone else. You know what I mean? And it's just like when you're in a position of power, a position of privilege, it's up to you to use that privilege to the benefit of those around you.
Exactly.
So, like, I say that all the time, and it's funny how that keeps happening to me because it was just an analogy, but it's something that I've lived on more than one occasion. And every time I do that, it's just like, okay, does that mean something that I've needed to get done is getting done for me? Or is this just like the universe playing tricks? So...
I think it's the universe telling you, keep doing those good deeds. And when you see that little short woman in the store and she can't reach it, keep doing that because that's awesome. And that's the kind of thing that the book makes people think about. It's like most people say that like little things don't make a difference, but it's the little things that add up to the big things in a person's life, and it's the little things that we'll remember the most.
It's too true. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. And I didn't even play basketball today. Shout out to the Weldon Charter. Sorry I didn't make it out. I was supposed to go to the gym. Woke up. Said, all right, cool. I'm in this. Got dressed. Said, all right, cool. I'm in this. Said, I got about an hour before I got to leave. Took a nap. Woke up an hour and a half later. I was supposed to leave at like the 45-minute mark. So I didn't get to head out. But like, I'm not sure I should have played this week either. It's just one of those, like, old man syndrome.
I know the feeling. I just moved and I'm suffering from old lady syndrome.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. Oh. Just the word moving makes me cringe sometimes.
Doesn't it though?
I'm telling you, it's like, I'm not, and that's the thing, like, we were talking, and, like, they're stuck with us for a good while. And they've tried to get rid of us a couple of times. They've tried to, they've discriminated against us. They've told us to do things for them, and then they've ignored when we've done it. So it's just like, why ask me to do something if you're not going to receive it when I do it? It just doesn't make sense.
It makes you stop doing things for them.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's two-faced. Like, if we pulled up with our groceries into the front parking lot to empty them out of the car, one of the neighbors called, because the people who live here aren't supposed to park in visitors. One of the neighbors called on us within 15 minutes of us being there. Meanwhile, there's another tenant resides here, hence tenant, and he parks in visitors, and he'll stay there the whole day. And no one will talk to him. And no one will do anything. So it's like, that's prejudice.
Isn't that a double standard?
It's a double standard of prejudice. Because if I take you to court and I win, and then everything you have, every problem you have with me escalates beyond where it needs to be, then that's prejudice to me. Like, if I can't do it and you can, it's a double standard. But it's also prejudice.
Yep.
So, I just need to see a little bit less of that kind of stuff happening because, like, not to toot my own horn. Pass me the trumpet. No, I'm joking.
You sure?
I'll do that on the Terrell effect. Not to toot my own horn, but no, I genuinely try to be the best version of myself when I leave my house because I know the kind of bastard I can be, and most of society doesn't deserve that. Corporate society does. But most of society doesn't deserve to see me on a bad day. So, I just kind of, hi, how you doing, everybody? Life's great. And for the most part, it is. I really hope this book takes off. I really do.
So do I. It's, like I said, what you were just talking about there, it challenges the reader to actually do that.
To better themselves?
Yeah, to better yourself. Like, instead of, I'm driving down the highway and so-and-so just cut me off and I'm really pissed off and I want to go run him off the road, but it challenges you to step away from that anger and say, okay, maybe he's got an emergency that he's trying to get to and maybe he didn't mean to cut me off and there's something more that I don't know about. It asks the reader to step back from your world and your problems and try to see the bigger picture and try to put out the best you possible. And if you're going to leave a mark on the world, leave a good one.
Okay, give me a second. You'd have to tell me the name of it, and probably not because I've had one hell of a week. But if you're free later, feel free to reach by. That was a whole mouthful. I'm not even sure my watch caught any of that. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh. I gotta thank the wife and Jay for hooking me up with the watch. It's one of those things where, like, it's made my life so much easier. So much easier. Like, if I'm driving, it goes off, I just gotta look at it, click. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's time to flip the script. Usually...
what does that mean?
Usually on Candid Conversations, I feel like I ask all the questions. So I give the opportunity to our guests to ask me whatever questions they want to ask.
Oh, way to put me on the spot there. I don't even know.
Hey, whatever comes to mind, like, I don't know.
Would you read this horror novel? Even having an active imagination, knowing that we're aiming to scare you and give you nightmares. Would you read it?
Would I read it? I'd definitely be interested in it because it's like I know, like I've met the author. So I'd read it out of respect for the author. I don't know how long it would take me to read though, because like I don't even remember the last book.
You might tear through it because she grabs you with first sentence of the book when it first starts.
Okay. All right. Intriguing. Might sit down with the missus and go through it. Take turns reading it. Yeah, no, I'd be interested in seeing what it is because, like I said, I've come to the point where, like I said, books have become so redundant that I have to read, like, textbooks or things like that to get any satisfaction out of it, but...
Oh, then you'll love this. There's no redundancy in it, totally fresh, full of stuff that we haven't seen 100 times, and it totally pushes the envelope on fear and horror.
All right. That sounds dope. I think my message got misunderstood.
It happens.
It happens. I said a word, but it picked up the wrong way, so now it's just like,
what are you trying to say?
I was trying, shout out to Jubilectron. I'm working on an EP with an artist named Jubilectron, and he asked me if I finished the last track that we did. Honestly, I've worked on about 25 tracks in the last 2 weeks, so the names of some of the tracks are escaping me. So I gotta go through all of the tracks, and then I gotta go through the tracks that I have and see which ones are finished and which ones aren't. Because things just picked up for me out of nowhere. Just all of a sudden, like I had a show. Like the year started, I didn't have a show. I booked the show, had to cancel the show because of communication issues with the venue. Venue owners, I need to tell y'all this, okay? When it comes to organizing an event with a promoter, the least you can do is maintain an open line of communication, okay? Now, if you have no intention of putting on that show or allowing that show to happen, you should at least have the decency to respond in kind where it comes to that situation. If you can't handle your alcohol, don't offer a service that you cannot provide. Also, do not give the number to somebody of your authority when you have no intentions of telling them the information that has been conveyed to you. I'm putting you on blast without telling anybody your name. Yes, this is what happened.
Sometimes you have to.
This is what happened. It's like, this is the second time, and I feel like it's my necklace. I really feel like it's my, like they're talking to, like I'm talking to them, and they're looking at my necklace, like, oh.
What's wrong with it?
Well,
it's a beautiful cross, and what is that, the sun?
Sun, yeah, it's blingtastic. But that's the thing.
It's beautiful.
It's blingtastic. So they're going to look at I'm talking to them, and they're looking at my chain, and I'm talking to them, and they're looking at my chain, and they're thinking, oh, well, we're going to get this, and we're going to get that. And it's just like, hold on a second. I'm up here. No. It's just, it's sad, man. It's so sad. So sad.
It's like that in all industries. Like even with the writing industry, trying to get into that industry is so hard. And trying to get somebody to listen to you when you're what they call an untiered author. I guess it's the same when you're a music artist.
Yeah.
Because you're an unknown, you're considered an untiered. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to take a chance on you. And it's like, you know what? Like, somebody took a chance on Michael Jackson, and look how huge he was.
Quincy Jones, he's the one who took that chance. But for me, it's not even a matter of being unknown because I can't go anywhere without being known now, without someone, oh, hey, Buck.
Yeah, now you're pretty well known.
Yeah, but it's just amazing to see how people treat you. Like some of the same people, like there are people who I came up with, who I saw at their beginning, that I've watched from the beginning till now get to the point that they're at, and they'll look at me like I wasn't one of their I wasn't one of their supporters. Like I didn't try to work with them.
Oh, I know what those are like.
You know what I mean? And there's
I know exactly what those are like.
I
got a few of those.
Too many of them. Like I don't.
want you to support them when they're
Yep.
at rock bottom
Yep.
and help them get to the top. But
Yep.
when you're at rock bottom and need their support, oh no, there's 1,000,001 excuses. And
Straight up, I got to quote Ezza on this one. Shout outs to Choom Gang, you know what I mean? Ezza has this track called Leave the Soul Alone with a couple of the Choom Gang compadres. And he goes, fuck out of here with your fist bump. Fuck out of here with your chest bump. You weren't there for my worst days. You won't be there for my best ones. That's me in a nutshell right there. It's like,
I agree with that 100%.
okay, found it. Don't approach me on some, oh, buddy, how you doing, buddy, tip, when buddy's been here for time and ain't no one seen shit. Straight up. So, but I just, you know what I mean? I got to shout out everybody. I got to shout out all the supporters, you know what I mean? Also got to shout out those who don't like what I'm doing. Tough shit. It's going on. It's going down. Cheshire Black is available on all streaming platforms. Over 1,000 streams.
I just got my copy.
Yes.
And I'm stoked.
Copies available on USB. They are engraved. They're hand engraved by yours truly. So if you do get a USB copy, those are a special edition. So yeah.
Woohoo! I got a special edition. Right on.
Yeah. I might even add. I have that computer on, so it won't take too long. I could also add to that the Disturbing Truth, which is the first album that I did. Shout out to Distinct. Shout out to Dottie P. Interp doing your thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're Disturbing Truth is like another hip hop reggae compilation that I did 2018.
Based on the title alone, sounds like it would go great for the movie soundtrack.
Oh my goodness! If you find
there's a lot of disturbing truths in Into the Darkness, and
okay. If there's like I said, if you hear any songs that you like and you want to use them for your show, let me know. We'll set up the information. I think I gotta get them on SoCan and stuff like that. Some of these songs on SoCan. There's just so much work to do from start to end. But
I hear ya. I can totally relate.
Yeah, I think it might be harder to be an artist though, because like, well, not artist, sorry, an author, because like an artist has to write maximum, like if he's writing a full song by himself or if she's writing a full song by herself, has to write maybe about 6 minutes max. Like industry standard right now is probably like closer to 2.5 to 4 minutes. So that's nothing. That's like maybe the first 2 pages. You know what I mean? That's like 2 pages of a book. Like, so I've seen it before where like situations have come to fruition based on belief though.
Absolutely.
So, like you can't want your tree to grow and then sit there and say, "Oh,
not water it.
My tree's not growing." Well, you have to water it. You have to feed
nurture it.
You have to nurture it. The vibes, the energy, the spirit that you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. I was living in my van 8 years ago. I have a 3-bedroom condo right now. Talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, I know the struggle. I've been through the struggle. I've helped and I've overcome the struggle. You know what I mean? It's a matter of your mentality. And like, I can only imagine how daunting it was to go through this book.
It's very, very daunting. Some people will tell you that choosing a career as an author is an easy choice. It's so not. You have to remember so much. You have to make sure you don't repeat yourself. You have to make sure that your storyline flows properly and there's no gaps in the storyline. And there's characters that you have to remember and mannerisms for the characters and their personality traits and everything. And there's just so much that you have to remember when you're writing a book. And my sister got into the habit of, she takes notes as she's writing.
I was going to ask if you like...
She takes notes, so what she has to remember is a little bit less, but...
Okay. No, you got to work the system. You got to develop a system that works for you. It's just, I firmly believe that. Like, when you are doing anything, like, especially if you're new to it, or not even new to it, but if you want to do it for a long time, you have to be open-minded to the changes that come with it. You know what I mean? It's like, there's so much. Like, And when it comes to the writing aspect of it, like
it's way more than just sitting down at a computer and typing out some words.
yeah, no, and that a lot of people think that's what it's like to be an artist. Oh, you just no, I
sit
don't
in front
just.
of a equipment and
No,
crank out your tracks and bam, she's done. But no, there's a lot more work to it that people don't see.
I welcome anybody who thinks they can do what I do to come and rewire my studio.
I would like to see that.
I welcome anybody.
I'm just looking around and I'm like, man, I barely know how to work this microphone.
No, but seriously,
He turned it on for me. That's how come I know how to work it.
I try to make life easier for everybody, but like, you know, it's just one of those things where people think that like, you just push a button and you record. Yes, but you know how long
there's so much more to it than just that.
How long did it take me to figure out which button to push?
Yeah, and how long did it take you to write that song and find those musical notes that go with those words?
Yep.
You can't just pick up a trumpet and be like, oh, do, and now I'm going to write a song with this.
No, you can't. It's like,
unfortunately, it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. It takes at least a year of dedication to do any one aspect of what I'm doing. And then, like, to do the producing side of it, like, I've been producing for 23 years now. 23 going on 24 years. The first track I produced, I was 12 years old. Do the math. I'm 35. So, like, I have a database of sounds from artists that I've heard over the last 23 years. And then people will be like, well, shouldn't you be, why did you move from Toronto? Because it was oversaturated with the same garbage. And I wanted to refresh myself. I wanted to return to where I was born in order to reestablish myself.
And find your own sound?
Find my own sound, develop that sound, and become a better artist, a better lyricist, a better person. So, yeah, I think I've done that in some ways. I'm not sure about the better person thing yet, but I'm still working on it.
We're all working on it. It's a daily work in progress.
Yeah, the road to success is always under construction.
Always.
Every day.
And it is a tough road.
Oh, my goodness. If you only knew.
And, like, being an author, that's a tough industry to get into, too. I know the music industry is a very tough industry to get into. And I think being an author is, like, a close second to that because there's so much out there. There's so much material to choose from that you got to figure out a way to set yourself apart from everything else that's out there.
Yep.
And that's where the real challenge comes in, is
I'm not
having something different than everybody else.
I'm not wearing my hat. I'm supposed to wear my leprechaun hat for...
No, but it's an Expose the North hat.
Yeah, I know. That is true. Expose the North hat. We got materials for y'all. Y'all want to get a hat, $35 because I got to pay dividends and stuff like that. But you can customize the color of the stitches and the hat. Let me know what colors you want. Send in email, money transfer, whatever. $35. We'll get that hat shipped out to you.
Can you get it in camo print?
Camo print? I believe so.
I'd be totally down for one in camo print.
What color did you like the words?
Orange.
Orange words, camo print. Let me see if I can find the camo print. And then, what size hat? Because these are the flex fits. This is extra large. This is large, extra large.
I have a big head, so large, extra large, I guess.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and these are...
There's a lot of information up there.
Honest, like, fuck, I don't even have a 4-head. I got a 5-head. I don't, like, shout outs to my mom, Dukes. Natural birth. 10 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, straight up. Shout outs to the moms for holding it down. Like, I'm sitting here, like, I owe her...
Props to you, Mom.
I owe her big time. Like, when she told me, like, later on in life how much I weighed, I was just like, wow.
I'm sorry.
I apologize. You know what I mean? But, like, I don't know. The things we do for the ones we love, I guess. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I just talked to her this week. I'm supposed to go visit her next week. I'm not even going to say what day because every time I pick a day, something happens and it doesn't make it down that day. So I'm just going to one day wake up and go.
Just get in the car and go.
Wake up and go. As long as the weather's nice. I'm going to wake up and go. So, yeah. All right. Wow. We cranked back that hour.
Really? This has been an hour?
It's been almost an hour. Yeah.
Oh wow, it doesn't even feel like it.
No, that's the thing about candid conversations. When you're having uptight conversations, you're watching the time. But like candid conversations, I find like when you just
This has been a breeze. I don't know why I was nervous.
neither do I. I just you know what I mean. It's just be yourself, speak freely, and like one of the hashtags I use is speak up. It's like if there's anything that you want to talk about that you don't feel enough people are talking about, then this is the venue for it. This is the avenue for it. Like we just gotta open the dialogue so we can have these kinds of conversations. Like me and my wife. My wife is Caucasian, for those of you who don't know. We have very good conversations about culture where we can actually discuss things and not get offended because I say that white person or she says that black person. And
those are my favorite kind of conversations, the mind-probing conversations.
Yes, like how do you conduct yourself in this situation, or how does that make you feel? How does that resonate with you? Like, there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to talk as people. Like, say how you feel. If you know, like, for me, for example, my dad says this. He's like, if I mean to offend you, you'll know. But if I say something and it offends you, I'm sorry. But if I say something and I mean to offend you, I'm not. And a lot of people get offended way too easily.
Oh, big time.
Way too easily. Like
you just look at somebody wrong and they're offended by how you looked at them.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, yo. If I look at you and I wave at you and you don't wave back, I'm offended as fuck. Who the fuck do you think you are? Do you know how much energy it took me to wave at your bitch ass?
See, now I feel bad because how many times have you driven by me and you like wave and I'm just like, what? Oh, that's Steve. I'm sorry. Hi. Usually takes me a minute to remember that it's you because you changed your vehicle.
Yep, I did.
And you gotta warn a person before you do that and then do your drive-by and wave. I'm like, who's that? Oh, I know who that was. Sorry. I meant to wave, but...
Oh, no, it's all... You see, I get that. No, it's like a perfect stranger. And a lot of the time you're talking to somebody when we pass by, too. So, no, but like a perfect stranger, I'll walk up to and I'll smile at them. I'll smile all nice and I'll wave at them and they'll be like, hi, how you doing? And they'll look at me like, who are you talking to? My next door neighbor. Freshly moved in. The first time I walked by, I'm like, hi, how you doing? Looked at me. Didn't say nothing. I said, you know what, maybe she didn't hear me. I was mumbling. Maybe I was mumbling a little bit. So I'm on my way back from the garbage now. Good afternoon. No response. Okay, bitch. You don't have to respond. That's fine.
Just don't be rude about it.
Just don't be rude about it, for one. And for two, when your backyard is mess, don't try to conduct yourself like you're better than me. Because I know things about that household that could probably get them in trouble. But am I going to say anything? No. You know why? Karma. That's all I'm going to say.
You do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Exactly. I don't want...
And that's the way it should be. Like, unfortunately, we have become a society that gravitates towards hate and shies away from love.
But it's because, exactly, like, I've even said this. I was in a grocery store one time, and I complimented a man on his watch. He didn't say anything to me. I said, I bet you if I had called you an asshole, you would have responded, though. And he turned around and he's like, what? I said,
that's exactly my point.
I said, nice watch. He's like, oh, you were talking to me? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were... No. I said, hey, that guy right there has a nice watch. And I pointed as you looked at me, and then you looked away. Don't give me that I didn't know you were talking to me shit. Come on, people. What up, Zach Burry? That's my other partner in crime. This young man is talented. He's very talented. He's just... And he knows what he's doing with himself. You know what I mean? He has an idea of where he wants to go. He has, like, a knowledge base to back it up. Everybody needs direction, you know what I mean, from time to time. But this guy, like, he's definitely one talented young man. So... shout him out. He's supposed to be over here later on. We got to practice our set for the shows happening on March 26th at Lux Nightclub in Welland, and then March 28th at Shorty's in St. Catharines, and then May 14th at Honest Lawyer Fennel in Hamilton. Come check us out. Oh, shit. Okay. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we close out?
I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone who has supported me and my sister on this venture. I want to tell you all how much it means to both of us and how grateful we are. And just buy the book, please.
Yeah, buy the book. Where can I find it?
It's a great read. You can find it on lulu.com.
Lulu.com. Lulu.com.
And it's Into the Darkness by Ennerida Wolfe. ENNIRDA WOLFE.
Ennerida Wolfe. Into the Darkness. Get the book. Read the book. Tell me about it.
You'll love it.
All right.
And if it causes nightmares,
then
I'm
good.
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. All right, cool. This has been another episode of Candid Conversations. We've had A.P.Wolfe on the show. Look at my bling blow. Look at my bling blow. All right, we out now. All right. Okay, mine didn't shut down. Now it did. Boom. All right, and then we go shut down on Spreaker.com. Boom.